So MLAs basically elect the Rajya Sabha members. Okay, लोक सभा का इलेक्शन आप सभी जानते हैं, पीपल से इलेक्ट करते हैं, ठीक है. Rajya Sabha members are elected by MLAs for every 2 years. So it is a permanent house. हर 2 साल में MLAs अपना अपना इलेक्शन करते हैं. इनका जैसे सीट वेकेंट होती है तो MLAs अपना मेजोरिटी के अकॉर्डिंग वोटिंग करते हैं, ठीक है. और इसमें एक फिक्स क्राइटेरिया होता है कि हर एक स्टेट का रिप्रेजेंटेशन होना चाहिए, ठीक है. राज्यसभा का एक क्राइटेरिया है कि हर एक स्टेट में से रिप्रेजेंटेशन जरूर होना चाहिए. बट लोकसभा का ऐसा इन व्हाट वी सी इन लोकसभा दैट देयर इज नॉट कंपल्सरी. It is not compulsory in Lok Sabha that you must be having particularly from some areas, because as you all know, the majority of the seats are from Uttar Pradesh, because it is according to the number of population. But what we have seen that in Lok Sabha there are huge number of seats according to the population, and it is being seen that those states which are basically focusing on the development more and not increasing the population, just like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. As you all know that northeastern states, their education level is good. Because of a good education level, they are not increasing the population. So that's why they are basically suffering. Because Uttar Pradesh is generating more population, increasing its population day by day. It's increasing its population, and what the criteria has said that uh, for 10 lakh people there must be one member of parliament. Okay, for 10 lakh people there must be one member of parliament. So Uttar Pradesh is having population in crores. As you all know, it is approximately 23 crore. 23 crore population is of Uttar Pradesh. That's why we have focused that we should keep the population according to the 1970. Okay, हमने अपने population को काफी पुराने टाइम की रख रखा है. That's why we have kept it from a very old time and set it as a criteria. I'm just forgetting the year. I think 1970. It is nearby 1970. So हमने उस टाइम से जितनी पॉपुलेशन उत्तर प्रदेश की उस टाइम पे थी, और जितनी पॉपुलेशन अब उत्तर प्रदेश हैज इंक्रीज्ड इट्स पॉपुलेशन. सो वी आर बेसिकली फोकसिंग फ्रॉम दैट टाइम पीरियड. ईयर आप सभी गूगल पे चेक कर लेना कौन सा ईयर है. आई एम जस्ट स्किपिंग इट. ओके, तो हमने मतलब 30 years बैक का क्राइटेरिया ले रखा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. वी हैव सेट अ क्राइटेरिया for 30 years back. So Rajya Sabha members are elected by MLAs. इनका इलेक्शन MLAs के द्वारा होता है. If a legislature, because अगर हम if we are not focusing on the population criteria, okay, those states just like Goa and Sikkim, they are basically focusing on not increasing the population. They are focusing that they should not increase the population. Okay, that's why they are not focusing on increasing population, and they are basically cooperating in the development of the country. But what they are not getting the good representation in the Lok Sabha. That's why the majority of the politics is according to the state of Uttar Pradesh and is according to the state of Bihar. As you all can see that in this case of SSR also, there is some phase of politics also. Although it can be some different thing. But what we have seen that the whole of India is working according to the high population ratio of a state. Okay, Uttar Pradesh was having enough population in 1970s also. So that's why the northeastern states and the states which are having a low population, they are basically suffering. Okay, because they are not having a good representation. There Because if you are increasing the population, then you are in benefit, and those who are not increasing the population, they are not getting the good representation in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha both. Okay, if a legislature contains two houses, it is known as bicameral legislature. Okay, bicameral legislature. Agar if the legislature MLA, okay, legislature is having two houses, it is known as bicameral legislatures, जहाँ पे MLAs और MLC दोनों होते हैं. ठीक है. Indian Parliament is bicameral in nature. State legislature can be bicameral or unicameral. इंडियन लेजिस्लेचर दोनों को तरीके की है. मतलब इंडियन लेजिस्लेचर इज बाइकैमरल बिकॉज इट इज हैविंग बोथ द हाउसेस, राज्यसभा एंड लोकसभा. Recently, what is happening in current affairs that the Lok Sabha is demanding that we should demolish Rajya Sabha. There is no use of Rajya Sabha. But we have seen that in Lok Sabha, some of the illiterates, some of the all the many of them are illiterates. Okay, and approximately 70% have some criminal cases against them. It was seen, हमने एक न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ा हुआ था that 70% of Lok Sabha members are having cases against them. Okay, so that's why we should, and here in the Rajya Sabha, what we see that these are the educated people from different backgrounds, because they are being elected by the MLAs. Okay, they are being elected by the MLAs, so that's why they are from different backgrounds, and they are having very high status in their particular field. Okay, just like what we have seen that Manmohan Singh, he was a very intellectual person, and he was very intelligent in terms of economics also, but he cannot fight in terms of elections. Okay, he couldn't fight in elections because he was an intelligent person. He was not a psycho person, just like the members of Lok Sabha are, because he was not interested in politics. He was interested in economics. So that's why he was there in Rajya Sabha, and he became the prime minister, and his seat was from Rajya Sabha. Okay, his seat was from Rajya Sabha. If a legislature contains two houses, it is known as bicameral legislature. So Indian legislature is bicameral, and state legislatures are bicameral and unicameral. Many of the states are having both the houses, that is houses of legislative council and legislative assembly. Okay, legislative assembly मतलब MLAs. Okay, from where the MLAs are elected, and legislative council मतलब from where the MLC are elected. MLC is not compulsory for each and every state. Okay, MLC is not compulsory, and MLC under whom does MLC works? MLC basically works under the governor of a particular state. Okay, MLC basically works under the governor of a particular state, and MLAs basically work under the chief minister of a particular state. So MLA and MLC are these things. The head of MLCs are governor, and the head of MLAs are chief minister. Okay, and these Rajya Sabha members are elected by these MLAs. Remember it. These are elected by these MLAs. State legislature can be bicameral or unicameral. It depends upon the state. State legislature, upper house, legislative council, Vidhan Parishad. Okay, legislative assembly, Vidhan Sabha. Member of legislative assembly, Vidhan Sabha मतलब MLA. A, legislative assembly. C. Okay, always remember it. C. ठीक है. Legislative council, legislative assembly have MLA, legislative council have MLC. Okay. Lower house is mandatory, upper house is optional. Lower house is mandatory. Okay, lower house के तौर पे हम किसे कहते हैं? Legislative assembly. Okay, MLA are basically compulsory, and MLC is not compulsory. It is, I think, there are in 8 states only. MLC is in 8 states. Just go through the list of, मैं आपको कल list दिखा दूंगा कौन कौन से states हैं जिनमें MLC है. Okay, there is MLC in which particular states. Lower house is mandatory, upper house is optional. In India, 7 states are following: bicameral legislatures. Sorry, these are 7 states. Okay, MLC are in 7 states. Jammu and Kashmir are noted down. Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and Karnataka. Telangana and Karnataka. I think it may have increased. Okay, it may have increased because Jammu and Kashmir is now union territory. So just check out, because these notes are old notes. So इसके इसमें ये जम्मू एंड कश्मीर काट देना. Just write these names only: उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, महाराष्ट्र, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, कर्नाटका. Okay, उत्तर प्रदेश, बिहार, महाराष्ट्र, आंध्र प्रदेश, तेलंगाना, कर्नाटका, and check the rest too. Okay, government will be valid. Residuary powers, subjects which are not included in union state concurrent list. Okay, union, state, concurrent. So residuary powers are basically those powers which are not included in union list. Union list matlab the list that is being prepared by the central government. The list that is being prepared by the central government is known as union list, under which under this list the works and the powers are defined for the central government. Okay, for the central government, what are the powers of the central government? Okay, and in state list, what are the powers of states? And in concurrent list, what both of them shares with each other. Means concurrent list में क्या हो जाएंगे, just like taxes, okay, just like taxes and other things, education, in terms of education also concurrent list. Okay, so economic purposes भी concurrent list वगैरह में आ जाएंगे. So in this way, whatever there is relation, means concurrent list is the relation between center and the state government. Okay, it is concurrent list is the relation between center and the state government. State list is basically the powers of state government. Union list is the power of central government. Under residuary powers, these are exercised by central government. So what are मतलब उनके काम क्या क्या हैं? What are their works under the central government list? Okay, union list, residuary powers में हम देखेंगे what are the powers and what are the works are defined according to them. Okay, union, state, and concurrent list. Types of constitution. What are the types of constitution? अब हम residuary powers में हम ये देखेंगे what are the types of constitution. Okay, types of constitution based on a constitution is written or not. What is their Indian constitution is the highest written. Okay, मतलब it is written it is a highly written document. Okay, so unwritten constitution, where we see the unwritten constitution. Gaurav, just tell me where we see the unwritten constitution. मतलब हम unwritten constitution किस country में देखते हैं? ठीक है, Gaurav and Shubham, both of you tell me the answer. No, we have taken the written constitution from USA. Shubham, you try. Means unwritten constitution मतलब समझ रहे हो आप? And nothing is written, everything will be oral. Means you go to the court and you will be decided only in the court. It means whatever you have done wrong is just wrong according to oral constitution. Means हम बोल के सुनाएंगे कि आपका constitution ये बोलता है, मतलब उसमें कुछ भी books के format में लिखा नहीं होगा. So this unwritten constitution, this feature of unwritten constitution, where we see in United Kingdom, Britain, exactly, in United Kingdom. Okay, written constitution. In this constitution is in written form. World's first written constitution is American Constitution. अगर मैं थोड़ा सा नीचे कर देता स्लाइड को तो आपको दिख ही जाता. World's first written constitution is American Constitution. Asia's first written constitution is Japanese Constitution. Okay, Japanese Constitution. Indian Constitution is written constitution. इंडिया का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कैसा है? रिटन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, unwritten constitution. Here constitution is in unwritten form. World's first unwritten constitution is Britain Constitution. Britain Constitution is the oldest one. Britain's constitution is the oldest one because, as you all know, Britain always have worked according to the constitution, and they have always showed to the world that India is not a slave country. Okay, they always told to the world that we are here for increasing the intellectual powers, means thinking ability of the peoples of India. Means they are illiterate, they are here for making them literate persons. Okay, so Britain always has showed that they are here for the economic development and the intellectual power development and for the sake of education and infrastructure. Sorry. Okay, so Britain has always showed to the world according to constitution. Not even a single point can be against them in terms of their constitution, because they all means we were saying to the world that we are a slave, but the world was seeing according to the Britain that we are not a slave, we are being educated by the Britain. The people of the British peoples, we are being educated by them. Okay, so that's why their constitution was oldest one, and their constitution has served them to occupy the whole world. Because whole world doesn't means that the whole world, because in USA we have seen that they got the democracy very early, and USA was having a good power, Russia was also having a good power. So that's why Britain was not there in the whole world, but we have seen that the major powers, that is USA and Russia, were silent when Britain was occupying other territories. Okay, when Britishers were the rulers of other territories, they were silent because they have the best constitution in the world. Okay, but everything was oral, nothing was written. Nothing was written, everything was oral. So they just transform according to their wish. Means whatever the constitution they want to impose, they can impose at that very time period. So according to the people of Britain, what is wrong is wrong. Whether the constitution says it right or okay. So if anyone is culprit in the court of Britain, he go in the court of Britain. Just like India में क्या होता है कि in India what we have seen that if there is written constitution, then court decide according to that. Okay, court decide according to that. Court doesn't have their own mind. In India, what we see that courts doesn't have their own mind, but in Britain, what we see, the courts have their own mind. The courts have their own mind, and they see according to the peoples. Okay, they see according to the peoples. They see according to the circumstances. They see according to the circumstances. उन्हें ये नहीं कि आप एक किताब पकड़ा दी कि सर इसमें ये चीज लिखी हुई नहीं है, तो ये हमारा जो आरोपी है, मतलब the culprit is innocent. India में what advocates do, that they show the books to the judge that sir, there is nothing written in it, and that's why my culprit is innocent. Okay, although the judge knows that culprit is not innocent, but he will have to leave him, because the judges of Indian system doesn't have brain according to our constitution, but they are also having the human brain. Okay, that's why Britain constitution is considered the most powerful constitution of the world. Okay, Britain constitution is the oldest one. based on how easily a constitution can be amended. Constitution classified as flexible constitution or rigid constitution. So Indian constitution, we have seen many of the amendments. Okay, so it is not that much rigid. It is a little bit flexible, but in some of the things, it is rigid constitution. Okay, in terms of fundamental rights and fundamental duties, it is rigid, but in many of the fields, it is flexible constitution. So that's why Indian constitution is a mixture of rigid and flexible, both. Okay, according to articles, according to its particular articles. Flexible constitution. This constitution can be amended easily, just like French constitution. French constitution can be amended easily. Rigid constitution. This cannot be amended easily. Example: Britain constitution and USA constitution. Okay, these cannot be amended easily. Okay, because if you are in Britain constitution, basically what we see that they are rigid in terms of their decisions. Means if someone is culprit, then he they doesn't have the loopholes. It means they have prepared their constitution from a very long time period in such a way that in each and every person's mind, what happens that if the constitution is written, how many of you know the polity of India? Means the constitution of India. You are basically you are studying the only because of that, because you doesn't know the constitution of India, because you don't have it in your mind, but what happens that from a very long time period, the people of Britain are being told orally, whatever is told orally. If you are reading something, if you are writing something, okay, so it cannot be remembered easily. It cannot be remembered easily because it is not in your talks. Okay, it is not in your talks. When you talk about your constitution, the day when you talk about your constitution, day by day you talk about it, just like we talk about emergency, then we come to know that emergency is this. If we talk about article 370, then we know that it is related to Jammu and Kashmir. No one need to tell us, but if someone asks us what is article 21, what is article 32, what is article 43, then we don't know, because it is not in our talks. But what happens that the constitution of the Britain is in terms of talks. Means the people are in continuous talking with each other, and they have formed the constitution in such a way that each and everything is in their mind. Each and everything is in their mind, so that's why they know what is wrong. If they are stealing something, okay, if they are stealing something, then they know that this act will be imposed on us and we will be sent to jail, or we will face the penalty, or we will face something else. So that's why they know the constitution orally and it is in their mind. Okay, because Britain is having unwritten constitution and everything is in the mind of the peoples, all of the peoples. There the constitution is in their mind. So when they went to the judiciary, in front of judiciary, they went to in front of the judiciary. Okay, they went into the court. Basically they know themselves that they are culprit in this case. They basically know previously that they are culprit in this case, and they will face the penalty, or either in some sort of years of jails. Okay, that's why Britain constitution is rigid constitution, because each and every person know the constitution. Okay, USA constitution is also very rigid constitution, but in terms of some of the things in USA also, there is flexibility, but uh, everything in USA, majority of the peoples are literate basically. But in terms of USA constitution, it is a very small constitution. ये इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के लिए की तरह इतना बड़ा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन नहीं कि जिसके लिए हमें 4-5 किताबों का सहारा लेना पड़ता है। लॉ की किताबें देखी कभी आपने? मतलब एक पूरी लाइब्रेरी भरी रहती है जिसमें लॉ ही लॉ, लॉ ही लॉ, लॉ ही लॉ, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इज लॉ। Okay, so that's why USA constitution is very less constitution. Okay, means it is written very less, so that's why it is having the features of Britain constitution, that some things are written, but not written just like Indian constitution. Indian constitution में तो हर एक चीज लिखित में होनी चाहिए. हमारी इंडियन आइडियोलॉजी में क्या है कि हर चीज हमें लिखी हुई चाहिए. अगर नहीं लिखी हुई होती तो हम क्या कहते हैं, किसी से अगर फॉर एग्जांपल someone has taken the money from someone else, अगर हमने लिखित रूप में नहीं लिया तो वो कह देगा कि I haven't taken the money from you. He will tell a lie. Okay, he will tell a lie. So the same thing is with the peoples of India. The same thing happens with the peoples of India, that what they say, uh, that it is written in the constitution, so it is right. It is right. If it is not written in the constitution, although it may be wrong, but they will say it is right. Okay, if something is not written in the constitution, then for them it is right. And if there is some loopholes in the Indian constitution, then also they will say it is right because we have the power. We are the, मतलब हमारा वो कहते हैं ना कि हिंदी में स्टेटमेंट कहते हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश और बिहार और दिल्ली के लोगों की एक स्टेटमेंट रहती है, हमारा चाचा विधायक है. ठीक है, तो उनके चाचा विधायक जरूर होते हैं. ठीक है, means our uncle is MLA. Our uncle is MLA. So in this way, Indian constitution is very deprived in terms of Britain and USA constitution. Okay, because it is highly written and it is having the highest number of loopholes also, through which the culprit get freedom easily. Indian constitution is both flexible and rigid. Both flexible and rigid. Indian government parliamentary form, unitary and federal. So federal features में क्या होता है कि the residuary powers में हमने जैसे देखा कि the powers are defined according to the union list, the state list and the concurrent list. But what happens that Indian parliamentary feature is basically high in terms of unitary. Okay, unitary features ज़्यादा है, means the central government is having more power than in terms of state government, because defense is the power of central government, and RBI works under the central government, CBI works under the central government, and many of the things, okay, economic policies also work according to the central government. So that's why central government are having more powers, but Indian parliamentary features is also having the federal features. Okay, means where the states are also being concerned. So अगर हम बात करें, if we talk about the federal features, from where we derive this feature, from where we derive this feature, federal government. From Gaurav, just tell me from where we derive this feature, federal feature. We derive federal feature from USA. Okay, because there each and every state is having the equal representation. Each and every state is having the equal representation at the central level. Okay, that's why it is 100% federal feature. Okay, USA is having a federal feature, high federal feature. Indian constitution written, rigid and flexible. Written, rigid and flexible. So that's all for this class. अब हम आगे करेंगे textbook, constitution, preface and this adoption of Indian constitutions. Okay, from here we will do tomorrow. So total number of parts. So amendment of constitutions we will do tomorrow. Second unit we will do tomorrow. Okay, ये थोड़ा सा बच जाएगा फर्स्ट यूनिट का. टेक्स्ट बुक्स, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, प्रीफेस, प्रीएम्बल, ये तो एक इंडेक्स हो गया आपका. Date of adoption of Indian articles, Indian Constitution. Date of adoption of Indian Constitution is 26 November 1949. Date of implementation of Indian Constitution is 26 January 1950. Total number of articles 465. Total number of articles 395. Okay. Numbered means written. Those who are in at present also. Okay. So total number of parts 25. Total number of parts 22. After amendment, our number of parts is now 22. Originally it was 25. Okay. Originally की बात करते हुए हम देखते हैं कि originally we were having 465. Now we are having 395. Okay. Articles 395. And parts 25, and now it is 22. Okay, so we will do amendment of constitution from tomorrow. That's all for this class. Join me at 10:10. 10:10 पे. Okay, join me at 10:10 p.m.